Hello there, thanks for tuning in to this season preview for the 2012 NASCAR Goodyear Cup Series. We're just a few weeks away from the season opener at Daytona, but first, let's bring you up to speed on how this season will play out. We're going to take a look at the teams, the tracks we will be visiting, including two old favorites making their returns to NASCAR, the series schedule, and the points format. So without further ado, let's take a look at the 11 teams that will be competing this year and talk about any roster changes you need to know about. Earnhardt Ganassi Racing will field the 42 of Juan Pablo Montoya and the 1 of Jamie McMurray. Big Red has taken over for Target as Montoya's primary sponsor. Hendrick Motorsports will field their usual 4-car lineup of Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88, Jimmy Johnson in the 48, Jeff Gordon in the 24, and Mark Martin in his last year in the 5-car. His contract with Hendrick expires at season's end. Joe Gibbs Racing sees Joey Logano in the 20, Kyle Busch in the 18, and Denny Hamlin, whose number 11 Toyota will sport the FedEx ground colors all year long. Michael Waltrip Racing looks to establish themselves as a contending team this year with the 56 of Martin Truex Jr. and the 00 of David Rudiman, who is also in a contract year. Penske Racing carries the flag for Dodge, fielding the 12 and 2 of Brad Keselowski and Kurt Busch, respectively. Richard Petty and Ray Evernham have joined forces this year to form Petty Evernham Motorsports, with drivers Elliott Sadler in the 19 and Casey Kane in the 9. Red Bull Racing, in addition to Brian Vickers in the 83, will welcome Robbie Gordon and his number 7 Freightliner Toyota to the team in 2012. Richard Childress Racing keeps its 3-car lineup from previous years with the 33 of Clint Boyer, the 31 of Jeff Burton, and the 29 of Kevin Harvick. Roush Fenway Racing will have Carl Edwards in the 99, Matt Kenseth in the 17, Greg Biffle in the 16, and David Reagan in the 6. Stewart Haas Racing has Ryan Newman, whose 39 car will have tornadoes on the hood for the full year, and defending Sprint Cup champion Tony Stewart. Finally, Westbrook Motorsports will add a 3rd car to its lineup, fielding Bobby Labonte in the number 10 AAA insurance car, rookie Sean Gossett in the 09, and Marcus Ambrose in the 08. Next, let's take a look at the tracks. Atlanta Motor Speedway, Bristol Motor Speedway, Darlington Raceway, Daytona International Speedway, Dover International Speedway, Infineon Raceway, the only road course we will be visiting this year, Martinsville Speedway. North Wilkesboro Speedway is finally back on the NASCAR schedule and the fans couldn't be happier. Phoenix International Raceway, Richmond International Raceway. As if North Wilkesboro wasn't enough, Rockingham Speedway also makes its return to NASCAR in 2012. Summit County Speedway in Central Colorado will join the schedule for its inaugural NASCAR event. Texas Motor Speedway, and Williamson County Speedway, a relatively new track that hosted its first race in 2010. Now let's take a quick look at the 20-race schedule. We'll kick off the season in Daytona with the Daytona 500, then pack up and head all the way across the country to Phoenix for the Subway 500. Then it's all the way across the map again for the Cobalt Tools 500 in Atlanta. Next, it's a pair of half-mile short tracks at Bristol and Martinsville, then Texas, Summit County, and Richmond. Race 9 is the Southern 500 at Darlington, followed by a string of races 400 miles or less at Dover, Daytona, Infineon, and North Wilkesboro. Next is Rockingham, then it's back to Bristol for race 15. Afterwards, we enter the home stretch of the season with Williamson County, Martinsville, Texas, and Phoenix, and we close out the season in Atlanta. Lastly, we'll take a look at the points format for this season. It is the same as in the Sprint Cup Series. A win earns 46 points, second 42, third 41, fourth 40, and so on down the line, taking away 1 point for every subsequent position. Any driver who leads a lap during a race receives 1 point. That doesn't mean 1 point for every lap led, just a point for leading a lap. Additionally, the driver who leads the most laps gets 1 bonus point, and perhaps most importantly, there will be no chase for the Cup playoffs this year. The driver with the most points at the end of 20 races is the champion. Thanks again for tuning in. It's going to be a great season, and I hope you're as excited as I am. We'll see you in Daytona.